हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं भवानी शंकरौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। Bhagavan tells in the beginning of this chapter that this body is Kshetra and the knower of this body is Kshetrajna. Thereafter in the second shloka, Bhagavan says that I am the Kshetrajna in all the bodies. So both this Kshetra as well as Kshetrajna have to be understood properly. Knowing Kshetra and Kshetrajna itself is what we call knowledge. And this knowledge alone will liberate us from samsara. So Kshetra as well as Kshetrajna, Bhagavan then indicates in detail. First, in order to create that enthusiasm in Arjuna's mind, Bhagavan says, I will tell you about the Kshetra, what is its nature and what are its various expressions, vikar. And he also says, I will tell you about Kshetrajna, and again, what are the expressions of Kshetrajna through various upadhis. Then Bhagavan says that the knowledge of the Kshetrajna, which is that Brahma itself, is given by all the great rishis. Rishibhir Bahudha Gitam. And it is revealed in all our scriptures through the Brahma Sutra Pada, through all words indicating this supreme truth, by logically and rationally presenting the whole thing. Hetumadbhir vinishchitaihi, without any samshaya, without any doubt. So the scriptures point out this supreme truth. It is very subtle. Therefore, in various ways, the Shastras, they convey this knowledge. So after telling all this, now in the 5th and 6th verse, Bhagavan indicates Kshetra in detail. Means all the aspects of Kshetra he reveals in these 2 verses. So let us chant verse number 5 and 6. महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकञ्च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखं सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन Savikaramudahrutam. Bhagavan says that this is all Kshetra along with all its effects. So he says Mahabhutani. Mahabhutani are the 5 tanmatras. First we will just enumerate and then we will try to understand in detail. So Mahabhutani are the 5 tanmatras. Then Ahankar. Ahankar is a tattva. The Ahankar which we have is different. That also we will discuss. But this Ahankar tattva, which is the cause of this 5 tanmatras. Then this Ahankar tattva itself has emerged from Buddhi, that is Mahat tattva. Mahat tattva is the cause of Samashti Buddhi. Then this Mahat tattva has emerged from Avyakta. Avyakta is unmanifest that Prakriti of Bhagwan. So these are 8 things mentioned here in the first line. These are the 8-fold Prakriti which was mentioned in the 7th chapter. Bhagwan had said that Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhirevacha Ahankariti Yamme Bhinna Prakriti Ashtadha. The Ashtadha Prakriti. This Ashtadha Prakriti alone expresses as this world. Means through this Ashtadha Prakriti, Bhagwan alone expresses as this world. Then we have Indriyani Dasha, the 10 Indriyas. 10 Indriyas are Pancha Karmendriyas, the organs of action, and Pancha Jnanendriyas, the 5 organs of perception. Then Ekam, here Ekam indicates the Mana, mind, our mind. Then Pancha Cha Indriya Gochara. Indriya Gochara are the 5 gross elements which are seen through our senses, which are comprehended through our senses. They are called here Pancha Indriya Gochara. Okay? See, let us try to understand this. Bhagwan had said in the first verse that Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramityabhidhiyate. This body is Kshetra. So, in the beginning we understood this body means this our gross physical body as well as the subtle body. But when we try to understand it in more detail, we understand this gross body of us is just a part of this total world. It is part of this total world. And Bhagwan had also mentioned that I am the Kshetrajna in all. So Bhagwan is the Kshetrajna in Vaishvanara, in Hiranyagarbha, in all the devatas, in all the beings. So from that standpoint when we look, then the whole Samashti Jagat is Kshetra only, is a body, is the total body, total gross body and subtle body itself is Kshetra. And the knower of this is Kshetrajna. So, when we look at our own body, gross physical body, we come to understand that it is made up of these 5 elements: Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal and Prithvi. Space, air, fire, water and earth. But it is it is not just space, water, fire and all, not in their basic form, but they have undergone modification to become our body. For example, the fire, the heat which is there in our body, we get it from our food which we eat, from the plants and other food which we eat. And this plant get the heat from the sun, and the sun itself is modification of fire. So the fire element modifies to become the sun. The energy in the sun modifies to become energy in the plants. And the energy in the plant modifies to become energy in our body. So the heat which we have in our body, the fire which is there in our body, is modified fire. Similarly, the water content which is there, then the earth content which is there in our body, then the air and space is all modified, which technically is called Trivrit Karanam. They have undergone modification. So if we go on some other planet, we will not be able to survive there, because in order to survive we need food which is derived mainly from plants and other creatures. But from where the plant gets the energy? From the sun. So the plant body is made up of the energy derived from the sun, then also from the soil and from the rains. So the water from the rains, the soil and the sunlight go to make the body of a plant, and that when we eat, it goes to make our body. So if we look at our body, then we infer that there must be a cause for it. So if we keep on inferring in this way, we will understand that the basic cause for my body are the 5 great elements: Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. So with the help of the Shastras and with the help of our own logical thinking, we can understand the Kshetra in its wider scope. First we understood only this body as our Kshetra, but then if we think about its cause, then our mind shifts on this Pancha Mahabhutas. So the 5 great elements. But these 5 great elements, they have mixture. They are made up of 5 different aspects. And those 5 aspects which make up these 5 gross elements are called the Tanmatras. For example, this Prithvi Tattva, Prithvi which is there, we can experience Prithvi with all our 5 senses. We can hear Prithvi, any object, we can hear it. So Shabda, we can touch it, Sparsha, we can see it, Rupa, we can taste it, so Rasa, and we can smell it, so Gandha. So all these 5 go to make this Prithvi Tattva. That means it is made up of these 5. So 5 are the cause of this. So these 5 independently, Shabda Matra, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, separately, only Shabda, only Sparsha, only Rupa, only Rasa, only Gandha, they are called Tanmatra, Tadmatra, that alone. The Sukshma, subtle 5 elements, Tanmatras. These Tanmatras go to make all this gross physical world and gross physical bodies of all beings, those who have gross bodies. So the Tanmatras are also Kshetra only. The cause of all the 5 elements are the Kshetra. They also are Kshetra. But these 5 Tanmatras, from where they have come, what is their source, from where all this space, air, water, fire, from where they have come? What is the source? Actually, the source of these 5 Tanmatras are Bhagwan's Prakriti only. Ashtadha Prakriti. eightfold Prakriti, eightfold nature of Ishvara. So these 5 Tanmatras, they emerge from Ahankar Tattva, which is also Ishvara's Prakriti, Ahankar. When we say Ishvara's Prakriti, Ahankar Tattva, it is pure Aham Matra. Here Shankaracharya ji writes, कि अहंकार महाभूत कारणम अहम प्रत्यय लक्षणम अहम प्रत्यय लक्षणः. This ahankar of Ishvara is pure aham pratyaya, only aham. See, our ahankar is mixed with idam. We don't experience aham separate from idam. Whenever we experience I, we experience along with it something other than I also. Pure I, we don't experience in our waking and dream. Our I is associated with our gross body, subtle body. But Ishvara's this ahankar is pure I, aham, aham asmi. Same, that ahankar, it's called ahankar tattva. And that ahankar tattva is born from mahat tattva. It's called mahat tattva. That is the karan of this ahankar. And that mahat tattva is the very womb of total buddhi, samashti buddhi, samashti intelligence. See, the whole world is controlled by intelligence. So the very womb of this intelligence is called mahat tattva. From that mahat tattva only samashti buddhi, the samashti buddhi of Hiranyagarbha is born. Okay? Then this mahat tattva is born from avyakta. Avyakta is unmanifest. Bhagwan's Prakriti, one with Ishvara, unmanifest. So avyakta, it manifests as mahat tattva, again it manifests as ahankar, and then manifests as pancha tanmatras. And from this eightfold Prakriti of Bhagwan, the body of Hiranyagarbha gets created. So you just keep listening, and many of the terms I have mentioned before also. So if you note down and think about it, it will become more and more clear. Okay? So, this Hiranyagarbha, his body is made up of samashti buddhi, samashti mana, samashti ahankar, and pranas. He expresses through the samashti prana. So that is Hiranyagarbha. That is the first jiva born. So his body is also kshetra only. And when we say he, as kshetrajna, I and Hiranyagarbha are not different. We are one. So kshetram is same in all. So these are the eightfold Prakriti which gives birth to Hiranyagarbha's body. So that is the five Tanmatras, Ahankar, Buddhi and Avyakta. So from this Avyakta, Hiranyagarbha's Ahankar is born. From this Mahat Tattva, Hiranyagarbha's Buddhi, that is Samashti Buddhi, is born. From Ahankar Tattva of Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha's Mana, that is Samashti Mana, is born. So with the help of this Samashti Mana, Samashti Buddhi, Samashti Ahankar, Pranas, Hiranyagarbha converts this Pancha Tanmatra into five gross elements. This process is called Panchikaranam. So he converts the five Tanmatras into five gross elements. And when he converts it into five gross elements, the body of Vaishvanara gets created, and Vaishvanara identifies with this body. Vaishvanara is born. Then taking this Pancha Mahabhut, Vaishvanara further creates the bodies of the Devatas, of the Vanaspatis, of all the other creatures and human beings also. So all this is what is mentioned here are nothing but the bodies of various beings, and all of them are Kshetra only. So Mahabhutani Ahankaraha Buddhiravyaktamevacha. Now these five great elements which are there are experienced by us. So when we look at ourselves, we have our gross physical body and we have the subtle body. In the subtle body, we have the five karmendriyas and five jnanendriyas. So through these jnanendriyas, we are aware of these five great elements. We hear, we get the perception of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Okay? And we interact with this world through our karmendriyas, with our speech, with our hands, with our legs, with the organ of urination and with the organ of excretion. We interact with the world. So our Pancha Jnanendriyas are made from these five great elements only. Eyes, ears, nose, that ability to see, hear, taste, touch, which we have, is made from the five great elements. And even the karmendriyas are made from the five great elements. Okay? So therefore here Bhagavan mentions them, ki indriyani dasha, the 10 indriyas. And ekam is our mind, which is a grossified mind. See, Hiranyagarbha's mind and Hiranyagarbha's intellect is very subtle, very sublime, very pure. But our human being's mind is very gross, full of impurities. It's unable to comprehend things. But still we have our mind, our intellect, we have our ahankar, we have our chitta. So all this are part of our body only, subtle body. So the Indriyas are there, 10, and this Antakarana is there, then Panchacha Indriya Gochara and these 5 great elements. All this put together, there are 24 tattvas, all this put together are all are kshetra only, but all these 24 are considered as the 24 parts of this entire creation. In the Sankhya philosophy also, they are called the Chaturvimshati Tattvani Achakshate, the 24 tattvas which go to make this entire world. The contents of this entire world is made up of these 24. And all this is kshetra. Why they are called kshetra? Because all of them are known. They are not the knower. The Pancha Tanmatras are known indirectly through the Shastras, and through inference we know the existence of Pancha Tanmatras. Similarly, we know the existence of Ahankara Tattva. We know the existence of Samashti Buddhi, Avyakta. We know the Dasha Indriyas. We know the Mana. We know the 5 gross elements. So all of them are known. So all that which is known is called kshetram. And the knower is kshetrajna. Okay? Now, not only all this is kshetram, but even all the expressions which are there in our antakarana, that is also included in kshetra. We experience happiness, we experience unhappiness, we experience some desires, some likes, dislikes, hatred, and different expressions are there in our antakarana. That is also included in kshetra. So that Bhagavan now tells in the 6th verse. We have chanted already that verse. Shankaracharya ji writes in his commentary कि अथ इदानीम आत्मगुणा इति यान आचक्षते वैशेषिकाः ते अपि क्षेत्रधर्मा एव न तु क्षेत्रज्ञस्य इति आह भगवान. That all these qualities which will be mentioned in this verse, Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, some philosophers by error they consider this as qualities of Atma. And due to ignorance also we consider these qualities as Atma, the qualities of Atma. But they are not the qualities of Atma, they are the qualities of Kshetram. They are all Idam, they are all known, they are all different from me. So that we have to understand. So that is described here. Ichha dvesha sukham dukkham sanghatas chetana dhritihi etak kshetram samasena savikaram udarutam. So we will try to understand all of them. Ichha. What is Ichha? Shankaracharya ji writes कि यद जातीयं सुख हेतुम अर्थम उपलब्धवान पूर्वं पुनः तद जातीयं उपलभमानः तम आदातुम इच्छति सुख हेतुः इति सा इयम इच्छा अंतकरण धर्मः नेयत्वात् क्षेत्रम. That suppose we have experienced some object and we had derived happiness from that object. Then we again come across similar type of object which had given us happiness in the past. So we develop that desire to obtain it. That desire to obtain it again obtain that object is called Ichha. This is also the Antakarana dharma, and it is also part of Kshetra. So this is also Kshetram, it is known. And that is how we function in this world. We keep seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, coming across various objects, various events, various beings. Some of them give us joy and some gives us sorrow. So whatever gives us joy, pleasure, some excitement, that is noted down in our antakarana. And then when we come across similar object, when we hear about them or when we come across them, then we again, that desire arises in our heart to obtain it. Aur chahiye. We want it again. We have some food somewhere and we like it. Next time we go in the same place or even sitting at home thinking about it, we develop the desire, oh, I want to eat it again. So there are some people who have that memory of things which they have done in their childhood or as youth. Then they go abroad, they stay there for a long time, but still that memory remains in their heart. So they come back to India, they visit India, then they go to same place, somewhere in Karol Bagh or Lajpat Nagar. They say, वहाँ पर हमने खाया था, बहुत अच्छा था, बचपन में हम खाते थे. Then they go to the same shop. The shop has undergone little change. Now the son is running that shop and they buy the same thing and try to eat. Sometimes they don't get the same joy. पराठे वाले गली में जाके वही पराठे खाते हैं, लेकिन अभी हजम नहीं होता है, पहले हजम होता था. So coming across those objects or thinking about those objects or hearing about those objects which had given us some pleasure in the past, again the desire arises in our heart. Sometimes some combination, permutation, we imagine also certain things. We might not have experienced it, but we might have experienced something similar to it. So we hear about it and we develop that desire, oh, I want to go, I want to experience that. That's called Ichha. This Ichha is born in our mana, but this Ichha is also known. Before the desire comes, we know. When the desire is there, we know. When the desire gets fulfilled, we know. So it is a known thing. Therefore, it is also part of Kshetram. So Bhagavan says it is Kshetram. So just as we have Ichha, we have Dvesh also, dislike, hatred, or dislike, Dvesh. What is Dvesha? Again Shankaracharya ji defines. He says, Tatha Dveshaha yad jatiyam artham dukkha hetuttvena anubhutavan punaha tad jatiyam upalabhamanaha tam dveshti sa ayam dveshaha neyatva kshetrameva. That whatever type of object which we had experienced in the past and that had given us sorrow, dukkha hetu, that had given us sorrow, pain, trouble. Not only object but even people or some place or some event which had given us some trouble or sorrow, we dislike that place, dislike that object. We develop that aversion towards those things. It's a natural reaction of our mind. Sometimes it is seen on our face also. We meet some person who had irritated us before, and then we meet that fellow again. So it shows on our face also. Hey Bhagwan, ye yahan par bhi aa gayi. Now I will have to suffer as I had suffered before. So that bhava, that expression or that feeling or those thoughts which are there, they are called dvesha. And this dvesha is also known. Therefore, it is also part of kshetram. So Bhagavan has said, I will tell you what is the kshetra, what are the different expressions of kshetra also. So here he is talking about the various, this mind is also kshetra, but in the mind the various thoughts and expressions which are there, they are also part of kshetra only. They are all known. Kshetrajna is totally different from the kshetra. We have to recognize kshetrajna. We have to gain proper understanding of kshetrajna and also kshetra. That's what Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi kept giving that advice to all seekers. Okay, find out who are you. Who are you? Koham, aham ayam kuto bhavati chinvata. Find out from where this I thought is arising. What is the source? Who are you actually? Who is even beyond all thoughts, beyond all feelings, beyond all modification. So before we can understand a kshetrajna, we should understand what is kshetra and understand that we are different from it. Humse alag hai. It is different from us. So this dvesha is also kshetram. Then tatha sukham. Sukham, Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham. What is Sukha? Shankaracharya ji writes, Ki anukulam prasannam sattvatmakam neyatva kshetram. That which is anukul, that which is conducive to our samskar, which is conducive to our liking, which is in tune with our own swabhav. Those things give us joy. Those things give us happiness. Means those things create happy thoughts in our mind. These thoughts are also part of the mind only. Happy thoughts. We meet some person or we get some object or some desirable place we visit or desirable event happens. So there are happy thoughts happening in the mind. And we become aware of that. We are the knower of that also. We know when the happy thought was not there. We know when the happy thoughts are there. And we know when these thoughts disappear also. So they are known. Just as we watch a cinema, we know the changing, the sceneries and all which happens. So first the whole the scene is shown in Mumbai. Then suddenly the whole thing shifts to Kolkata. So we know we are the seers of both. Similarly, we are the seers of Sukha as well as Dukkha also. So what is Dukkha? Pratikulatmakam neyatva tad api kshetram. Pratikul, not conducive to our swabhav, not conducive to our desires. We feel very unhappy, sorrowful, miserable. That is dukkha. But the dukkha is also known. Therefore it is also kshetram. See, because of ignorance we identify with dukkha and consider that as our own. But otherwise the dukkha also belongs to the kshetra only. This we can understand, that when we are in deep sleep state, when we remain alone as kshetrajna, no sukha, no dukkha, nothing touches us. There is no joy, there is no sorrow also. There is no ichha, there is no dvesha. Nothing touches us there. Therefore we are different from all this. Okay? Then sanghata. Sanghata means a conglomeration, assembly. Assembly of what? Dehendriyanam samhati tasyam abhivekta antakarana vrittihi. Dehendriyanam samhatihi. Deha, Indriya, etc. together, they are called Sanghat. Samuha. All of them together. So they are all kshetra only. See, very interesting, when we are in our waking state, we experience the physical world, we experience our physical body also. We experience karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, we experience antakarana also. We experience the pranas also. But very interesting, when we sleep and when we dream, we get cut off not only from the physical world, but we also get cut off from our physical body. But interesting, even the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas are not functioning in dream. Therefore, these karmendriyas, jnanendriyas are part of this physical world only. Means they are derived from this physical world. They are derived from the panchatanmatras, panchamahabhutas. But in our dream, our antakarana alone is functioning. And when we go to, when there is this deep sleep, then even antakarana is not functioning, but I am present. So that I is kshetrajna. That I has to be recognized in our waking state. That I who was alone in deep sleep is even present now. We have to recognize it. Now again, another important thing. See, in the waking, I experience myself in the present moment. I say, I am awake. I am awake. But when we talk about dream, it is experience in the past tense. I say, I dreamt. I dreamt. I was dreaming. And our deep sleep is also experienced in the past tense only. I say I slept, I was asleep. So we experience dream as well as deep sleep in past tense. And we experience waking in the present tense. We know dream and deep sleep only is a past event. When it is happening, we are not aware of it. But our spiritual sadhana is to recognize that Kshetrajna in the present moment, which is tough, but one has to do it. We have to intellectually comprehend it first and then meditate on it. Okay? So this Sanghata is said here, that is also Kshetram Dehendriya Deha Indriyanam Samhatihi, Samuha of Deha and Indriyas. Then the most important is Chetana. This Chetana is also Kshetra Dharma. Now what is this Chetana? It is like sentiency. This Chetana is expression of that Chaitanya. This Atma is Chaitanya, Chaitanya Swarupa. But here we are talking about Chetana. Chetana is a Kshetra Dharma. It's the nature of Kshetra. It is something known. But this Chetana is expression of the Chaitanya only in the Buddhi, in our Antakarana. See here, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has given a beautiful example also. He said, Tasyam avivyakta antakarana vrittihi tapte iva loha pinde agni atma chaitanya abhasa rasa viddha chetana sacha kshetram neyatvar. Just like a loha pinda is there, let us say an iron ball is there. So what is the nature of this iron ball? It is cold. It has got a particular shape, that spherical shape. And let us say fire is there. Fire is hot. Fire is shining. It has got a very majestic form. Suppose we place that iron ball in fire for a long time, then what will happen? That iron ball will start becoming hot and then it turns red hot. It is red hot. Okay? So this fire, the nature of fire gets expressed in that iron ball. The iron ball also looks like fire, but it is not fire. The iron ball is also hot like fire, but it is not fire. Fire is getting expressed in that iron ball. Fire is not spherical, but there it appears spherical. Fire is not heavy, but that iron ball is very heavy. So if this example is understood, the Atma Chaitanya is like fire. Buddhi is like iron ball. And when we are awake or when we are dreaming, this Buddhi as though get enlightened, as though get endowed with that with that Chaitanya of self, and that buddhi also becomes a knower, like it becomes sentient. It gets the ability to know, to feel, to understand, to think, to comprehend. We say, oh, I understood with my intellect. I comprehended it. So that sentiency which is there in the intellect, in the antakarana, that sentiency is what is called chetana. And the chetana is also the dharma of kshetra only. This is a very subtle point, and it has to be understood, because many times people mistake this chetana for chaitanya. Chetana is not chaitanya. Chetana is also kshetra dharma. It is also idam, it is also known. It is not the chaitanya atma. It is also known. See, just as our life, when that life is connected with our gross body, then gross body also appears alive. What do we mean by gross body alive? It is made up of these 5 elements. These 5 elements are not seen as alive. But when the gross body is connected to that life principle, that body also appears alive. Otherwise it is jada, it is inert. Similarly, our buddhi is also inert. Inert means known, cannot function by itself. But when it is associated with this Chaitanya, it becomes Chetan, Sachet. Just like a robo is there, let us say. When it is connected to the electricity and to the power supply, and when there is this computer and all is connected to it, suddenly the robo becomes as though alive. You can speak to that robo, you can ask question, you can get answer, as though there is some person there answering everything. But it is dead, it is inert, but that electricity and that software, computer and all is giving it as though life. Similarly, our buddhi is inert. It is made up of, it is also matter. But that buddhi has got the capacity to know, to understand, to think, to comprehend. How this ability has come? Because of its association with Chaitanya. So, association with Chaitanya makes that buddhi Chetan. So that Chetan is also Kshetra Dharma only. It's a Kshetram. Then Dhriti. Dhriti means Dhairya. Means Yaya Avasada Praptani Dehendriyani Dhriyante Sacha Neyatva Kshetram. That even when our body is very tired and senses are tired, we can't do anything. We say, oh, I am so tired, I can't walk. At that moment also we bring that thought in our mind, no, I should get up and start moving ahead. That's called dhairya. Generally it happens when we go on a tirtha yatra. We are so tired. We are walking towards that Kedarnath. But the body is exhausted, the senses are exhausted. We can't walk any further. We just want to lie down there itself on the road. But then we say, no, I should continue walking and reach my destination. So I just get up from there and start walking. That's called dhairya. And this dhairya is a very important and interesting quality which us generally also we should have, but as spiritual seekers should have it. That many times we lose hope, we get tired, frustrated, and we say, nahi ho sakta hai, very difficult, I can't do it. But even in such condition, we just inspire ourselves and get up and start walking ahead. That's called dhairya, dhruti. That is also known, so that is also kshetra dharma, the nature of kshetra only. So in this way, etak kshetram samasena, Bhagavan says, all these expressions of the mind are many. But here Bhagavan says, I have explained only a few of them. Samasena, briefly. There are thousands of varieties of expressions are there. All of them are kshetra only. But Bhagavan says, I have just mentioned briefly few of them. Etak kshetram samasena and savikaram udaratam. And also I mentioned about this Ashtada Prakriti, that is Bhagavan's Prakriti. Then the modification of this Prakriti is called Vikar. So Prakriti is there, and the Vikar of this Prakriti, the modifications as Indriya and all these are the Vikar of Prakriti. So Bhagavan says, I have briefly mentioned all this. Etak kshetram samasena savikaram udaratam. So thus Bhagavan explained kshetra. Now he has to explain kshetrajna. Though it is said kshetrajna is the knower of the kshetra, but exactly what is the nature of the kshetrajna? How to recognize this kshetrajna? Because kshetrajna is myself. How to recognize myself? What are my own lakshanas? That Bhagavan will tell. But before telling about kshetrajna, Bhagavan will give us certain values, certain disciplines which we have to follow in life in order to understand kshetrajna. So that is the topic in the verses ahead that we will see in our class tomorrow. So till then you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana. Listen to this pravachan again, because a lot of terms and new things might be there for you. And contemplate on them and try to understand. Because as I said before also, this Vedanta is a path of understanding. समझदारी, समझने का मार्ग है. As we understand, we move ahead. Total understanding is liberation. Little understanding is going ahead on our journey. Okay? So, we will meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम.